precision defense,
yeah, it's called
precision
special
like that.
forces.
Okay,
and we have those people.
When terrorists are embedded in schools, in hospitals, and in homes, how do you do this? Israel does what is about roof knocks. You've got 10 minutes to get the fuck out.
And where are they going
because
at
missiles
them? And then they get a bomb where they're going.
So at what point does the Arab countries surrounding take accountability? How many people is Egypt taking in? How many people is Jordan taking in?
How many
people is Lebanese taking
Israel taking in? What are you talking about?
You want Israel to take in Gaza
Palestinian civilians.
Do you know how many times when
but they won't
Gazans
do that,
are
right?
sick?
Because they like to conflate Hamas and innocent Palestinian civilians.
So Anna Kasparian and me have just been like on a couple things. Maybe it's just this, right? This and AIPAC. I don't know. We've been kind of seeing eye to eye a little bit there, and squatters too. Yeah. But there are still things where I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm good. But anyway, Anna Kasparian was on the PBD podcast around the time when this whole situation in the Middle East started. Now, these two are going to go back and forth, and they get very passionate about it. And I can understand why. You know, the gentleman himself, he is a Jewish man. And I can understand. It's like, you know, this thing about we need a safe place for Jews. And I could understand if you really grow up feeling that way and you hear that and you see like the world being presented to you that you're not safe, right? So that's one thing. But then Anna is not in that kind of thought process, right? And I mean, what I'm saying here too, by the way, I've watched The Gray Zone. Max Blumenthal talks about this as a Jewish man who lived in Israel. So this is not me making this up in any fashion, all right? I want to be very clear. I would not disrespect anybody's culture like that. But at the same time, we need to talk about these things in reality. And when this thing had happened, when it first started, the question was, what happened with Netanyahu, right? Now, I don't want to get into a full geopolitical debate here, but we should be able to ask those questions about the intelligence and did they know, like, you know, I mean, come on, let's talk about 9/11 for a second. Like, we all know that our government was doing, you know, like not that honest with us about 9/11, right? We do all know that, right? I'm sure we do because you guys are here watching this video. So you obviously are thinkers, right? So, okay. Now we can ask these questions about, well, anywhere. We can ask questions. But in this part of the debate, these two, they really, really go at it. And I think she does a pretty good job handling herself.
Okay, so here's my
because
question.
They're subhuman.
How
right?
about this? Answer this question. How many people is the West Bank or Gaza? How many Israelis are they taking in to show support?
Are you
Zero in the history of their country.
You want to talk?
Zero.
Are you sure you want to talk about the West Bank right now?
Hundreds,
the West
if
Bank,
not thousands,
where they are governed by the Palestinian Authority, which works with the Israeli government, right? They are not at all governed by Hamas. At the same time, Israeli government has no problem with the settlers raining terror on those people living in the West Bank, right? Netanyahu has no problem with building illegal settlements in the West Bank, okay? Evicting Palestinians from their legal homes in the West Bank. By the way, like what? Honestly, answer this question, okay? You have Palestinians following the rules, doing like they're governed by the Palestinian authority in the West Bank, a situation that could lead to peaceful relations between Israelis and Palestinians.
Oh, really? All the peaceful relations that have never existed.
No.
So you're going on the premise that some.
So this is the thing that people do. They cut you off right when you're cooking. I mean, she was cooking, right? She was cooking so much that he didn't know what else to say. And all he was doing was looking for that next word. Why I'm showing you this is to really kind of point out what people do in a debate when they're not sure what to say, or, you know, or they don't know all their information, right? He's getting into this debate with Anna Kasparian, who obviously knows a lot about this situation. I can imagine, too, she knows a lot about it more than I do, right? And so she's breaking it down. And for him, and this is how you know he doesn't know, because he made the silly comment of, how come Palestinians in the West Bank aren't taking in Israelis? That is hilarious, because if you know at least a little bit about this conflict, you'll know that settlers in the West Bank have been a problem. And that's actually something that's so known, that the money that we give to Israel yearly, or off the rap, like off the bat, yearly, without question, is supposed to be contingent on no more expansion in the West Bank, no more settlers in the West Bank, and that has not happened. They still continue to go in there. So that's something that's not even debated. So for him to say that, it's like, do you know anything about this? And this is why emotions can get people into a very bad place in a discussion. We need to just have clear eyes. Again, I'm balanced enough to say I can imagine this was a lot for him, and it still is, to think that this place that's supposed to be safe for Jews, unfortunately, there's a thing that happened. But you got to go back and just look at this thing for the reality of what it is. I mean, for me, it's kind of like when blacks are still mad about slavery, like just systemic racism, what are we doing? Or even the thought that an unarmed black man he was just killed by the cops because he was just walking down the street. Did we get the full context of the story and how these things go? Right? So that's where I'm at with it.
Somehow in this magical world that Anna's living in, that peace is possible. Zero peace is possible.
Building illegal settlements in the West Bank, which again is not governed by Hamas, shows the bad faith of the current Israeli government.
Yeah, but it's not whether it's Yitzhak Rabin, whether it's Bibi Netanyahu, whether it's Ehud Barak. Good luck.
I just wish
trying to have peace with Hamas.
I wish that you would just say it like it is, because I feel like you're not saying it like
Tell me what I'm not saying.
I think Israel.
And so she's right about what she just said. She wishes she was to say it like it is. And he's just still like, peace, peace, peace. Man. I got my one word and I'm holding on to that. Right. So, I mean, again, we can't, and I get it. Again, it's an emotional thing. I just feel like I'm one of those people who would be like, you know what, let me just bring my emotions down before I actually talk about this situation. Or let me just wait and see or something, because we can't always run on emotions.
Wants to rid that area of Palestinians, period. And their activity in the Gaza Strip right now makes it abundantly clear to me. Abundantly clear.
Listen, if there's anybody that understands.
Entire neighborhoods completely leveled. Okay. By the way, you want to talk about bombing hospitals? You think that was the first time a hospital was bombed? They bomb hospitals all the time.
And ask yourself why.
That exact hospital.
Poor thing. I mean, he really was listening for 2 seconds, but that is that bite, yo. Like, that's what it is that bite. I mean, he really was listening. So I could give him credit for trying to at least listen. And by the way, guys, if you like the videos that you've been watching, please don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new here. You just talk about everything in a balanced manner. I like to look at things from both sides of the aisle, if you will. Like right here, I'm trying to lend some grace here to this man because, again, I can imagine it was a lot for him with everything that happened on October 7th. So, and this is actually a few months old, so it was still very fresh. So again, if you guys like this content, like what you're seeing, please hit the like button and please don't forget to subscribe. I thank you. Now, but that thing bites him in the back and he's like, nope, you still have to make the argument.
It was bombed just like a few days earlier.
Okay. This alleged hospital that was bombing,
it was
according to multiple reports, according to multiple retractions, was done by Islamic Jihad. But ask yourself this question: why would they be bombing hospitals? Why?
Well, this is why I mean about waiting until like let some time go on, because the actual hospital he's talking about is Al Shifa Hospital, which has been now it's just been destroyed. It's destroyed now. So, and it's actually been, I don't remember the number of hospitals that haven't actually bombed and leveled in this situation. So back then we were arguing about one hospital, like, oh no, the Israelis wouldn't do this. And well, in fact, it's been multiple more. Nobody's talking about this as much anymore. I'm still very connected to a lot of different groups in this situation, as far as the, also with the Ukraine, war. It's just all connected really, but I like to still stick with the information, because what happens is when all of the hype goes away and the reality of what's going on sets in, a lot of people who were cheering a certain side, they get quiet about it completely. Now, I, for one, kept saying in the beginning, don't cheer on any side. Just land with the truth, because This is not a football game. This is something real. So when you say, yeah, I'm on this side or I'm on that side, to me, it feels like, well, when your quote side starts to, will you be able to hold them accountable? That's the question. And again, like I said, for this man, it is a very emotional argument. And that whole thing about human shields, there's just a lot with that, right? So fast forward 5 months later, they're not even saying that anymore. Like, they're not.
Why? Because they want to see sick, innocent people die? No, because it continued to remind you that's where Hamas basically embeds themselves.
So you're saying it's worth bombing it if 2 Hamas guys are in a hospital. You saying it's cool to bomb the shit out of that thing?
Where are you getting 2 Hamas guys?
Hold on. No. Hold on.
If they're firing rockets and missiles from that hospital.
No, hold on.
I don't want to get all the way fully into this on this episode, but I could. I really could. This gentleman, he couldn't. I got to get their names right. He couldn't take it. He was like, you know what? Boom. Like, now you didn't say it too much. And everybody else is kind of quiet. I personally think Anna cooked.
The ally in the Middle East is Israel. That's it. We don't have as many powerful allies as Israel. We have other allies, but not at the level of Israel that we have. 3, when you do kill 5,000, let's just say you get 40, 50, 100, 200. Let's just say you got 500, 10% is Hamas. Let's just throw that number out of their 40,000. The other 45,000, those families are never going to forget it. Trust me. I'm a byproduct where I'm at right now at 45 years old financially because somebody offended my dad 20 years ago in front of my face. And I'm never going to forget that. I'm going to go till I die to make sure they're going to remember my dad's last name till the day I die.
Love it.
They're going to have to. So imagine at this small level of where I'm going, my fires come out. I don't need another $300-400 million. That's not what I'm doing this for. I know those people that lost family. This cycle's not going to go away. It's going to take 5, 10, 15, 20. Maybe it's not going to happen under Netanyahu's watch.
And then in the end, Patrick Bet-David just made a really good point. And that's just really what it is at the end of the day. It is. And I didn't, want to turn it into this whole discussion. I do tread lightly on this platform. That's the only reason why. It's because on this platform, you have to tread lightly. But, he makes a very good point. And it just is what it is. I think in the end, that young man, I think that he paid attention, but it's just been a lot. It has been a lot, and it's still going to be a lot. And for those who are watching and saying, what does this have to do with us? Well, just know that we can get fully involved at any given moment. And that's something to think about. And this is why, too, when you hear me say, Anna might know more about the situation than I do, it is because they kept it from us. As Americans, you had to go and find out what was really going on over there. And again, they made it like this cultural topic where it was like, oh, the left is free Palestine. Like I would hear it on movies like Free Palestine, like it was some cool thing to say. And I just was like, what? Like, okay, whatever. So it's like a very funny tactic how that works. And again, it goes back to our media. It just goes back to just all of the propaganda, the serious propaganda machine that runs America. It is astronomical, right? But that's why we come here on channels like this to kind of fish out things and sift it all out and figure it all out. And again, I thank you guys for watching.